Hi everybody, my name is Dave Snyder. Welcome to the Prescott Sunrise Lions Show with Jim and Dave. Jim, introduce yourself.
I'm Jim Myers. I've been with the Sunrise Lions for 34 years. Been in the Lions Club for 40 years and gone through a few officers, president, district, zone chairman, district chairman. And currently I'm working part-time and still in the utility business. I've been in the utility business 40 years too. So I've been able to be semi-retired.
All right, thank you. And I'm David Snyder. I'm a CPA, MBA, and EA, and I own my own company, David A. Snyder CPA, PLLC, that does audits, reviews, taxes, succession plans, and helps people reduce their taxes with the IRS, as well as Arizona State. We are both part of the Prescott Sunrise Lions Club, and the Sunrise Lions Club just helped establish the Prescott High School Leo Club, and members of that Leo Club are currently learning to create television shows by doing the directing, the camera work, the producing, and editing of the broadcast. The members of the Prescott Media Center crew are teaching these Leo Club members to these skills. Jim?
Well, I'd like to share a few things that we do as for fundraising. We're active in the newspaper recycling. We picked that up several years ago when another club lost enough members it was hard to keep up with it. So we are basically focused in the Prescott Valley area. We do pick up some from some businesses here only. The Arizona tax credit that Dave's very familiar with as an accountant, it's a way to take a dollar for dollar deduction from your state taxes by giving to the poor. And so we do a lot of coordinating of those funds. That's one of our biggest fundraisers. And this year we have a project with calendars. We have sold them in the past, but this year it's strictly on the advertising. It's been very successful. And Dave will talk a little more about that as we get into the program.
So in this video we're going to talk about the Arizona tax credits because they're still going on, and the calendar sales, and about how we spend our club money, such as the 4.0 honors dinner, the site and hearing, and other ways. With the money we receive from the fundraising activities that Jim just mentioned, we transfer these funds to provide kids with eye problems with glasses, treatments, and or surgeries as are needed.
Yeah, so one of the big things is we work with the nurses to provide hearing assistance for those that need assistance. They have a real good screening program now. They travel to different schools around the county, and we are very involved in funding that part of the hearing rehabilitation.
Reading rehabilitation, if I could say the word. We provide funds to the Del E. Webb Enrichment Center, which provides child care for students and workers at Yavapai College. So that's a big chunk of the funds that we receive from tax credits each year. That's 16,000 to 18,000 of it.
And some other organizations, we support the Del E. Webb Enrichment Center in the Prescott Valley. We also have the YEI Disadvantaged Adults organization that we support, have been supported for years and years. The food bank, we always give each month, one meeting a month, we bring canned goods and also donations to the food bank, but then we have special emphasis around holiday time.
In fact, this year I saw that we saw that there was lacking turkeys to give out at Thanksgiving, and I went to the board and I said, let's give them $500 to try to supplement that a little bit.
Yeah.
At the Yavapai food bank.
And you want to talk about the Yarnell fire victims, maybe?
Yeah, the Yarnell fire victims. When I took over as president, the day before that's when the Yarnell fire happened. So we diverted funds that we had budgeted from that to help the victims who lost their homes in the fire that didn't have insurance with appliances for their new homes that were being built. So that was I thought that was a good project. And I've recently got some clients from Yarnell, so it was a good project to help them. It really was.
A couple of years ago, our mission is sight and hearing basically, and so we do assist nurses with screening for eye problems. A couple of years ago, we bought a pretty sophisticated piece of equipment for them that really makes their job a lot easier and a lot more easy to spot problems in the kids, and so we're real active with that.
So the Yavapai school nurses take those scanners and they scan the eyes of the kids, you know, in first or second grade, probably mostly in first. So they're not waiting, you know, they're not thinking they're stupid sitting in the back of the class because they can't see the board. And what they do is they screen them and they say, well, you need to go to see an eye doctor and check them out. So and then recently, about a year and a half ago, the Lions Club. The Noon Lions Club, they bought a van that they use for people people and kids in underserved areas in Yavapai County, and they do eye exams there, real eye exams with real doctors and the real equipment they use. The scanner really helps to divert people to where they're supposed to go, but this Lions van can be used just about anywhere. In fact, we did a show about this about 8 months ago, 10 months, maybe in April. So that's a good use of funds. And that van is going to go into another club called the Lions of Yavapai, where we're going to put that, and we're going to send our surgery money through from Sight and Hearing down in Phoenix. So that's a good thing, and that's what we do because we serve. We
also have doctors, a team of doctors that volunteer or discount their services dramatically for the special needs that we come across with the school nurses.
Yes.
So, and one of our club members, Dr. John, is active doing mission work, and we always support his trips over there because just recently, do you remember what happened exactly with the young lady we had brought over to the United States for surgery?
Yeah, there was a lady there that's part of that was a missionary, a child of some of the missionaries over there that actually Dr. John knows, and she had a very uncommon eye issue, and we gave them some money to get that repaired,
And everything went successful. I don't know if she's returned yet. I know she was in the United States just over the holidays, and I don't know if they're still here, but what a success story.
Yeah, that was a great success story. That was a no-brainer to do.
Yeah.
That was a no-brainer to help that. I mean, you know, they're affiliated with people we know, and sometimes it's who you know. But go to all your Lions clubs. Utilize your Lions clubs in the area. We have 3 here in Prescott. We got 1 in Prescott Valley, 1 at Bradshaw. We got 1 in Chino. So utilize them for those kind of activities. And if they can't do it, they'll divert it to another Lions club, because that's exactly what we do. We serve.
And talking about the new Embry-Riddle Lions Club.
And the Embry-Riddle Lions Club, as well as the Leo Club here. So
yeah. And we've been known for years to collect your old glasses. We still do that. There's a lot of places around, a lot of businesses have a receptacle for that, or just hit one of the lions up. If you know he's a lion, give him the glasses. We'll take care of them, because we do use them all the time.
Exactly, we do. So tell us, Jim, what kind of projects have you done over the years? You've been in Lions for, you said 40
forever.
years, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I joined originally in the Valley area, Levine Lions. They were, it's now off southwest of Phoenix, and it's kind of a rural community. So we had a horse group. We'd ride in parades. We came to Prescott, Wickenburg, at the time Black Canyon City, and Payson. Had a lot of fun. Supported other Lions groups, because most of the time when you have a community event like a parade, a lot of the Lions clubs are part of the sponsors. So we tried to support, all around Arizona, really. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. We have parades here all the time.
Yeah. Camp Tadia, I didn't mention before, but that's one of the state projects that we're involved in. And it goes way back, started in 1958, and it serves the challenged kids and young adults. They can go to camp each summer and not be the oddball, so to speak. They're just as normal as everybody there, and it's really neat. It's a real morale builder, confidence builder.
And how long do they go? They go a week or two?
They go a week at a time, and then they cycle in and out.
And they're in the White Mountains here in Arizona?
It's in Pine Top, Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah. We lease federal land from the Forest Service, and Interesting enough, when I first started Lions, they had the 20-year lease was coming due, and they had some requirements that we had to hook up to the sewer system. And you can imagine how expensive that is to do that in the rock.
Oh, yeah.
And so the Lions of Arizona took on that project. We utilized skilled people within the organization. Real dedicated community leader up here, John Hood, Lion John Hood, we used his license and was designed, and he would drive from Prescott over the Pine Top. We would come up from Phoenix and spend 3 days there and get a lot of work done, and ended up probably saving over $100,000 in labor, to be able to do that sort of thing. So that's the way we do. We network, we use everybody we can, and the state projects we all sponsor, and that was one of the great way to get involved in Lions. You met other people. You saw some that have been in like me 40 years, or some that just got in, and we made it happen. That was really a neat project.
Yeah, that sounds excellent. Did you guys camp out there?
You can camp, but they would open up the dormitories.
Okay.
And we stayed in the dormitories, and then they'd fix the food for us, and a lot of ladies would be doing lighter work, but all has to be done. When they get ready to open that camp, there's a lot of work to be done. And they always have work weekends up there, and it's neat to take a family up there once in a while and just see what goes on. Good food and real good place to stay,
And what kind of activities do they have up there for the challenge?
Oh, they have swimming. They have different games that they might be able to participate in. Maybe it's all kind of scaled down to their skill level, But like volleyball, they have trails they can use wheelchairs on. They do crafts, a lot of crafts, and I think they do a little volunteer stuff. They might make some things for the community as a whole. Kind of learn how to give back.
Yeah, it's an excellent project.
Yeah,
I've read about it in the Lion magazine, and everybody that's been through that,
It's
and
a
then
worldwide.
They become Lions after that.
Yeah.
They really go back to that to being the reason that they're contribute to the communities.
Yeah.
Not whether they're Lions or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Another organization, we're lucky to have the birthplace of our founder, Melvin Jones. He was born in Fort Thomas. And a lot of people don't know where Fort Thomas is, but if you know where Safford.
where is Fort Thomas?
Safford is the major town there. It's just.
Where's Safford?
You'd go to Globe. You know where Globe is?
Remember, I'm from Baltimore.
Arizona's just a piece of state. But yeah, you go east out of Phoenix, Apache Junction, Globe, Miami. And at Globe, you turn and kind of go south and east. Safford, then you have Morenci, the mines down on the border.
Okay.
And Fort Thomas right there was actually a fort, cavalry fort. His dad was in the cavalry. He was born in the late 1800s. And so they have a monument there, and they have an annual celebration, his birthday. So at the particular time, our group was a pretty young group, so we had a lot more labor available. So we poured some concrete there and made some ramadas and different things for guests to be comfortable. Good project.
That's excellent.
It's good to visit.
Yeah.
Lions from all over the world, if they're doing a tour, a lot of times they want to stop there and see the birthplace of Melvin Jones, our leader.
Yeah, Melvin Jones was actually started Lions Club back in 1917, and it was a business club then for networking, right? And then what happened was they got challenged by Helen Keller. Everybody kind of knows about Helen Keller being blind and deaf, but she had been trained and she kind of challenged the Lions to become more of a service organization, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
So Melvin Jones started Lions in Chicago in 1917, just when we were getting into World War I, and the rest is history. We've been involved in projects for 100 years all over the country and all over the world.
And we serve.
And we serve.
That's the motto. It's not an organization to come and have fun, even though we enjoy working, we enjoy the fellowship, but our basic, we serve. If we're not serving, we're not doing what it's about.
Absolutely.
And you know, we have sometimes parties and different things at Christmas and so forth. It's a lot of fun, but that's not what we're there for.
No.
That's the sideline. So
Yeah.
another sight and hearing. It's a state project, and it's a big building down in Phoenix on Roosevelt and 32nd Street. And way back in the day, it's not as sophisticated, or it wasn't as sophisticated as it is now. I'm sure to now I wouldn't even recognize the studios, but we would go in, they needed help assisting the hearing impaired to use machines that amplified the hearing so they could actually hear sights or sounds that they couldn't hear otherwise. And so we'd need to help, because most of them were blind too. So we'd go in and help once a month to do that. And it's a hands-on that really makes you know what it's about to be a lion, to help right in the front line, you know.
Absolutely.
And that was, I'm sure they've got earpieces and things now that all electronic, but back then it was big,
Well,
huge.
I mean, in our own club, we have some members that have these eyeglasses or
Yeah.
these glasses that read the stuff for them. Basically, turns text from, you know, with the reading, maybe labels on a can of soup or something, to anything that they might be reading, and it turns it into words so they can hear them.
Changed their life.
It changed their life.
Totally changed their life. They said all of a sudden we can know we're taking the right prescription. We don't think of that.
Yeah.
But they said just to be able to know that we got the right prescription, or when you go to the grocery store, you don't have to have help. You can read the can.
Absolutely.
Or paperwork, you know, and it's just like, just changed their life. And I was so impressed with that program. Oh,
And one of them was blind since birth, I think, and the other one was blind since she was 12 or 13, and they ended up getting married.
yeah.
So,
Have kids.
and they have kids that are sighted. So
And several, I think.
that was a challenge in itself, I'm sure.
But yeah, just to be able to read for yourself after how many years?
They had a lot of kids,
Yeah, yeah.
like 12.
All successful. One's still at home,
Yeah,
and he's getting ready to go to college, I think.
that's excellent.
So, but yeah, that was another special project we took on. Paid for that,
Mhm.
and it's a change. It's a life changer.
And these glasses are like, what were they, $2,000 a piece, or
I
what?
think so.
Yeah. But it's worth it to help you know that you've changed somebody's life, that you've helped people in the community that need it, and that's exciting.
Yeah. That's one thing about the Lions. If there's a need, you know, sight and hearing is our main objective, but if there's another need, I remember one time a young lady's husband got killed, and a lot of the houses in Levine area, you built your own. You know, you bought a piece of land, you build it as you got the money, and they were about 2/3 of the way through with their home, and he dies, and she had a disability of some kind. So we collected newspapers like this club, and so we got with the vendor that took our newspapers, and he made insulation out of that.
Wow.
So we said, hey, this lady needs insulation. Utility bills would be out because she lived there, and it wasn't done, finished, you know. So anyway, he gave us a machine to put the insulation in. We used our newspapers that we recycled. So it's all about a group effort to make somebody's life easier, you know. That's
Yeah,
what we do.
Absolutely.
So
And you know, and we did. And talking about ways of fundraising, we have these. We're selling calendar ads this year, and we're giving out the calendar. As you saw, this is the calendar, 2017 calendar. Here's the project form, basically to get charitable organizations tax credit money. We talked about tax credits earlier, so it's a combined kind of project. So we have the picture. We're going to put the picture as part of the show of all the calendar pictures. But I wanted to emphasize the tax credit page, and Mr. December page is me. So I wanted to say that. If you do the tax credit by December, if you had done the tax credit by December 31st, it will help you on the federal, but you can still do the tax credit through April 17th of 2017, and it'll still help you on the Arizona tax return. Now, if you did it, by April 17th of this year, then it will be part of your federal return for 2017 because it can't be used this year on the federal return, but it can be used. But we do a lot of things with that money, with the tax credit money. We do how do we raise funds? How do we send money to people who care? The Agape House, Prescott Area Shelter Services, Canine Companions for Independence. It's for people with PTSD and other ailments. It's not for blind people so much, but it's more for other issues, as it were. Disadvantages, yes. School mini grants. There's some school mini grants. There's Camp Tati, which we were just talking about. There's a school nurses assistance, which we were also talking about with those scanners. Deli Web, teacher preparation scholarships, Fair Start backpack program for kids. That's free backpacks for the kids to go to school with. Vocational scholarships. Some people go to C-Tech, for example, and they use money for our scholarships to learn gunsmithing or welding or something like that.
A trade.
A trade. Which C-Tech is a great place. We went there as a group one time. Family Advocacy Center, Yavapai Casa for Kids, which is part of the foster care tax credit, but we help them out. Hungry Kids Project, Yavapai Food Bank, Leader Dogs for the Blind, and YEI Disadvantaged Adults. So those are where the monies go to from this tax credit, or where the greatest need. That's how we bought the scanners for the nurses. And then there's 5 tax credits each year. I always want to tell people this because any chance I get, I go on the radio and talk about this, but people don't. Only 10% of people in the state take advantage of these tax credits.
It's a dollar for dollar.
And it's a dollar for dollar tax credit. So if you owe $2,000 and you paid in $2,000 to these charitable organizations, then you would owe nothing and you would get back all your withholdings. If you owed $1,000 and you paid in $2,000 to these charitable organizations, then you still wouldn't owe, but you would carry forward that extra $1,000 up to 5 years. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. If you go over a little bit, it'll carry over to the next year. Like I still have some carryover for one of the tax credits. And there's 5 of them. We talked about the organizational tax credit, which is the Lions Club, and it's also some other organizations in the area, but we're emphasizing the Lions Club. But there's also the Military Family Relief Fund, which if you don't do it by mid-November, it's going to reach its cap. Okay, the cap is $1 million, and so I got my money back this year because I didn't get it in time to them. But that's $400 married filing jointly, and $200 all other statuses. Public schools are also $400 married filing jointly, and $200 other statuses. And the public schools you're able to do that through April 17th also. And then there's a school tuition tax credit, which is $2,173. This is for 2016. It goes up in 17. $2,173 married filing jointly. Other statuses is half that, which is $1,087. And then there's the foster care tax credit, which is like CASA for kids, like we emphasized there, and that's $1,000, $500 other statuses. And then our tax credit, the organizational, the charitable organization tax credit, which used to be called the working poor tax credit, is $800 this year, and $800 married filing jointly, and $400 other statuses. Wouldn't you rather your money go to things that you can control in the area, as opposed to sending it down to Phoenix to waste on programs that you don't really care about, or some things I consider useless, like social programs at the federal government level. But let's talk about tax credits. Let's emphasize. Let's get those monies into these organizations that'll help local community organizations, as well as the Military Family Relief Fund, which is more like a whole of Arizona, and get those. It's too late for that one now, but for next year, start that one for 17. Okay, so you get in under the cap before mid-November, and you got that one, and you're helping families in need. That's what these are about.
You know where your dollar's going.
You know where your dollar's going instead of somewhere where you might not agree with. Okay, so let's make sure everybody knows that. So I like talking about it. I talk about it on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about it on this show a couple times a year, and I want everybody to understand the Arizona tax credits. Do you have any questions? Do you have anything you want to?
Well, I learned a lot there about more than just the $400 credit.
Yeah.
You got other ones that you can add that $400.
And you can use them all.
Yeah.
You can use them all. And if you get like a windfall this year and you don't think you're going to have a windfall next year, then do it this year, and then you can carry it forward for 5 years.
Yeah, I kind of did that on my own this year because of all the working in California for the 5 months. My income went up considerably, so I tried to do as much as I could to protect those dollars there.
Yeah, so
made the donations ahead of time.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
And so
we meet on Thursdays.
We meet at Thursdays at Waffles and More at 7 a.m. every Thursday.
And we get you out by 8 if you work.
And we get you out by 8, so come by. I mean, we have a gregarious bunch of people. We have several females. We have a lot of different industries in our club, as well as retired people. But no, there's real estate people. There's a CPA. There's another CPA besides me.
I don't know how they got in like that.
I know. Other networking groups I have don't only let one person in from each industry, but and that would be better for me. But he was in there before me because I only started in 2011.
Yeah. Well, I guess we have to wrap it up.
I think we do.
It's been fun.
It has. Waffles and More, 7 a.m. every Thursday. Come by and check us out.
We have a program 3 weeks out of the month.
Yeah, we have a
Good
speaker
program.
every month. But getting to the end here, I want to wrap up. I want to thank the Leos, Ann Snyder, Chase Dunton, Sarah Wynn, Sage Taylor, Andrew Potts for helping out and doing all the producing and editing and camera work for this show. And I also want to thank Emma, Jim, Linda, and Mary at the Prescott Media Center.
Yeah.
For helping with our production and providing us with the venue to do this. It's really helpful, and it helps get the word out about Lionism. Thank you very much. This is David Snyder signing off.
Jim Myers.
All right.